Now that we've got the injectors hooked back up, our next step is to adjust injector preload with the center rocker arm, and we're also going to adjust valve lash with the outer two rocker arms. To do that, we're going to need to bar the engine over to top dead center. In order to turn it over, there's a special tool. It fits in a hole near the flywheel. There's a cover for the access hole. Remove that and install the special tool. That will enable us to turn the engine over. Next, we're going to remove the oil line that goes to the Murphy switch. This will allow us access to install the locking pin to lock the crankshaft. At this point, we need to bring the engine to top dead center. We need to take our valve timing pin, put it in our camshaft. It's not going to go in all the way until we get to top dead center. So rotate the engine over. Okay, now we have the top pin in. We're going to make sure the bottom pin goes in too. There. At this point, what I'd recommend is getting a copy of the shop manual, go into the valve adjust section, and for this engine, it's on page 0513, and we're going to check and adjust as needed the valve to stem bridge clearance on certain valves. We'll start with intake valves number 1, 2, and 4 as listed in the illustration that you're looking at right now. We'll also do exhaust valves number 1, 3, and 5. And on this illustration, those are the shaded locations. We're also going to adjust the preload on the electronic unit injectors on number 3, 5, and 6. These also are shaded. The valve clearance is adjusted with the feeler gauge installed at the joint between the valve bridge and the valve stem tip. Valve adjustment specifications as listed in the book are 23 hundredths of an inch plus or minus 2 thousandths of an inch for the intake valves, and for the exhaust valves 43 hundredths of an inch plus or minus 2 thousandths of an inch. Injector preload is 0 clearance plus 1/2 a turn in, 180 degrees. Now we'll set injector preload on cylinders 3, 5, and 6. Back off the adjustment until we have lash. Then we'll take the injector down to the point we have 0 lash. And from that point, we go an additional 1/2 turn. Tighten the lock nut. Go to injector 5. Same procedure. Back it off until we have lash. Tighten it up until we have 0 lash, and then go an additional 1/2 turn. Now we'll adjust valve lash on intake 1, 2, and 4. Loosen the lock nut so you can insert the feeler gauge between the valve stem and the cross head. Then take it to 0 lash, tighten it up, and remove the feeler gauge. Once it's completed, tighten the intake and exhaust valve adjusting screw lock nuts to 37 foot-pounds. Tighten the electronic unit injector adjusting screw lock nuts to 48 foot-pounds. That's the first half of the valve adjustment and injector adjustment procedure. Now we'll pull the pin out. We need to rotate the engine over 360 degrees and then finish the procedure. Refer to the illustration for adjusting the valves on top dead center number 6, and check and adjust the valve clearance as needed on the intake valves 3, 5, and 6, and exhaust valves on 2, 4, and 6. And these, on this illustration, are the shaded locations. And we'll finish adjusting the injector preloads on 1, 2, and 4. At this point, we'll replace the rocker arm cover. We're going to start the engine and observe, make sure that there's no oil leaks. And if there's no oil leaks, then that completes this section.